Welcome. You are at the CCC.
Where there are no outside issues. My name's Anthony. I'm an addict and an alcoholic, another bozo on the bus, and I care about you.
And I'm LouiLou or Lewis, and my pronouns are he, him, and I am in recovery for crystal meth and alcohol. And I am always in search of balance. And each week we strive to foster a brave space where we can engage in conversations centered around topics of recovery.
And our intention is to hold and inspire better spaces for more people in recovery by tackling issues sometimes used to separate us.
Yes, but before we do that, please like, share, comment on this episode, subscribe, tell a friend.
Tell a friend. Tell a stranger. Tell someone. Call someone right now. Do you like podcasts? You don't like podcasts? Let me tell you about the podcast at the CCC. And now the disclaimer, the thoughts and opinions expressed on at the CCC are ours alone. We do not represent anyone but ourselves. In other words, we're just a couple of friends behind a mic here to entertain you. And of course, everything we talk about is for general information purposes only. How is everyone?
I'm fabulous.
You're fabulous?
I'm fabulous.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Okay, so
how are you doing?
I'm fine. I just want to tell people that the studio space right now is fucking freezing.
Absolutely.
But I made the suggestion.
It's a winter wonderland.
I made the suggestion that we put the heater under the table because we have this huge cloth and now my legs are warm and I think I am feeling better. So we have one of our very favorite co-hosts on today. Our friend Sage is back. Sage is also going underneath the table.
I'm putting a blanket over my legs.
Can you feel it? Isn't that so nice?
We're going to burn the place down.
Listen, donate money to us. We're over here freezing.
Exactly.
Help us. How are you, Sage? Good.
I thought Halloween passed, but
I know.
I'm good. That was a very Tim Burton holiday greeting. I'm good. It has been a week. Happy to be done with school. Happy to be wrapping up the holiday festivities at work and being able to spend some time with family that, I was able to make amends with a while back. And so very grateful for that.
That's wonderful.
I love that.
That's really good. And amends. Wow, what a nice segue to today's topic.
Did you like that?
It was very good. It was very good. Almost like it was planned. It wasn't planned. If you're listening, it wasn't planned.
It wasn't?
No, not what Sage did. Not that beautiful transition she just gave us.
I was only told that today was the 6th step, and that's it.
Oh, work. So if you're listening for the first time, we are doing our 12-step series. So if you're familiar with 12-step, there are what? 12 steps in the 12-step program.
There are 12 steps.
In the because 12-step is the
last
name.
week we talked about there being like 16.
Okay, that's because
they're actually 35.
there are 35 steps. So there are 12 steps, and every one of those steps corresponds with specific behaviors or thoughts or ideas. And so we are on step 6. And so step 6 is we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. But let's translate that into kind of modern language, right? So if you don't work 12-step, another way of thinking about that is we become willing to let go. No, I have it down here too.
Okay, go ahead.
Lewis was being distracting again.
I didn't see that.
Oh, you didn't see my phone?
It matches your coat.
Oh, is my phone? So the modern day language, if you don't do 12-step and you aren't familiar with the parlance of recovery. So it's a time when we become willing to let go of the patterns that no longer serve us, right? And we identify those patterns when we're doing step 4. We talk about those patterns when we get to step 5, and we become willing even to let go of those things that once kept us alive, which is the very scary part. And it isn't about punishing yourself. It's not about fixing yourself or having any moral judgment.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. I think you were the one who said, or like my sponsor says, it's information. It's an opportunity, information to work on. That's all. It's just all of this that we're doing in the 12 steps is fact-finding mission. It's a fact-finding mission to figure out how we want to move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So before y'all got sober, was this something that would feel doable? Did it feel like it came naturally?
fuck no. Are you kidding? I held on tight to things, you know?
Yeah.
Like even coming in, it's like I'm all these things that no longer serve me. The fact that, we talked about last episode, like initially the drugs and alcohol, they saved my life. But then when I no longer needed them, I wasn't willing to let go of them because I still enjoyed the feelings that I got from them. And I kept them well into when they no longer felt that good. When I was still trying to glean that, what I was feeling, you know, that first, like they say, you're always searching that first high.
Yeah.
I was thinking that I was somehow going to magically have it back. Although what I will say, I mean, because I think it would be completely wrong to say that all of my experience beyond when it stopped working was bad, because it was a good time. I had a good time.
It was a good time before.
It's like, if it weren't for the fact that I had consequences attached to it, I'd probably still be doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely wasn't willing to do shit unless it had to do with me and me benefiting in some way. So this step in terms of becoming willing to let go and to come to terms with poor decisions we've made and anything like that would have sounded like old English, as it does.
Yeah.
At that time.
One of my favorite words in the step 6 is ready, right? Because it's not saying you have to do anything, right? The step 6 is we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. And, you know, we've used the word God a couple times, and I think it's important just to say that when we're talking about an idea of God, this is a God of your conception, right? It's just anything that is bigger than yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if it helps, we were talking last time, or I was hearing somebody talking about this idea of substitution. Like if you need to say higher power or whatever, or like, I love the idea of universe or love. Yeah.
It's just anything. And I think part of it is you can feel it. It's this idea of turning over to something, even if it's uncertainty or the universe. And I think another way of thinking about this step 6 is it's totally okay to say, you know, I'm not ready to stop, but I am willing to want to stop. Right? Like just that kind of, you know?
Absolutely. That's the beginning. Because it's like, as much as, just because I say it doesn't mean it's going to happen. There's some other steps. There's some mini steps in between the steps, I think, to get me ready. But I at least need to kind of start the process.
Yeah. I think and maybe it's because I just finished finals for my MSW program, but I think the 6th step reminds me in terms of stages of change is like preparation. It's not action. It's not maintenance. It's prep. Because you're not, I mean, I guess you are doing in terms of being prep, but you're not actually like you're not doing those, you're just becoming willing, right? And so you're preparing for the following steps and what's to come and learning opportunities. You're not necessarily doing the actual things.
Absolutely. And like with this step, it's like, it's a lifetime thing. It's like, as much as, you know, they say it's the step that determines, I don't want to say the men from the boys, but the adults from the children, or whatever the situation is. It is a lifelong process, and it's like living. It's like it's going to be constant, because you know how there were behaviors that defined who I was, or in my mind it defined who I was, and I wasn't willing to let go of them because I didn't know who I would be without them. And so as I get to a place where I understand that those things served me then, they don't serve me now. And it takes some time. And I didn't mention this last episode, but I'm going to say it now. We give ourselves grace. We don't have to do it perfectly. It's going to be a little messy. It's going to be messy. It'll take some time before we figure out that, like, okay, you know, I don't need this. You know, like I was saying a couple episodes ago, it's like all of a sudden, it's like I realized, oh, is it me? Am I a fucking asshole? It's like, was that behavior just not good? Was it hurting me and hurting others? And I was thinking it was all special. Yeah.
Yeah. And going back to our previous episode, right? We also talked about how a lot of these behaviors were ways that they keep us, kept us safe, right? There were ways that we were protecting ourselves or self-soothing. Sometimes there were strategies to survive oppression or unsafe environments, right? These are things that we had to do to stay safe. There's an idea, I think it's Herman, I forgot her first name, but this idea of overlearned adaptations, right? There were these adaptations that we overlearned in order to survive. And I think step 6 really asks us the question, like, are we ready to live differently now that you feel safer?
Yeah.
Right. Now that maybe the fire's been put out.
Yeah. And I think that we do the steps a number of times, but I think the best thing I heard from my very first sponsor is like, sometimes you just go in and maybe there's one thing and there's other things that I'm not willing to go, because there were definitely some things that just were messy and I was ready to let them go. Mm-hmm. And there were some other things that I didn't even know that they were so ingrained. They were a part of me at the cellular level. And I think that I still got relief when I let go of the things, like they say, we catch the things, or we take care of the things that are going to kill us first. And so it was that thing that I felt like was really doing me in. And I was like, yes, please. Like the drinking and the drugs. Mm-hmm. That was like, hello. It's like, okay, I'm letting it go. I'm ready to do other stuff. I don't need that. It no longer serves me. It wasn't helping me. It's ugly.
Yeah. And you move away from because sometimes we get overly identified with those things and you move away from thinking like, this is who I am.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. You move away from like, no, this is just who I am. Like I have an attitude, or like I do pop off when things aren't going my way. And so you go from like, this is who I am to, no, this is behavior I learned and I can unlearn this behavior.
Absolutely.
Because it's not serving me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was that? Well, so of course we talked about like, what was that like before we got sober? What has it been like to actually do that work? This idea of readiness, just being willing and ready to turn over these behaviors.
It was uncomfortable.
Right.
It was uncomfortable, but also it was freeing, because when I found, and I've been really fortunate with the sponsors that I've chosen, and I think have everything to do. It's kind of like you understand, like with therapy. When I go into it ready and open to whatever it is, like I usually do a little mantra, you know what, help me get out of my way. I want to just be open to anything that's going to help me be a better version of myself. And so it was uncomfortable, but it wasn't that kind of discomfort that you feel when you're in your active addiction and nothing is coming from it. It's that like, I realized that, and this was the reason why I was able to go. I realized that there's something on the other side. Like if I do this work, it's grueling, it's uncomfortable. It's going to be different. I don't know if it'll be better, but it'll be different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think when you're ready, when you have the bandwidth and emotional capacity to be ready for anything, you're more open to accepting the results and the outcomes and the learning opportunities from it. Yeah. So I think if you were to skip this step and just dive into trying to resolve all of the misfortunes and the bad behavior that you had, and you weren't necessarily in an emotional state to do so, it would be confusing. You might have gut responses where you think, oh, this is actually wrong. I shouldn't even be doing this. Fuck this program. Oh my God, I've been right the whole time. And then you might leave the rooms. You might leave your sponsor. You might leave the spiritual point in which you're in terms of recovery. So I think actually getting to a point where you're ready and you're going to have that conversation is really important.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. I was just thinking about how, to your point, if we're looking back and we're figuring out what the origin was, like, well, like, wow, I learned this because I was in an abusive household, right? There's this level of self-love that we get to, this level of compassion that we get to, where we don't feel guilt or shame or bad about the thing. And so when we are making an amends with someone and it's not well received, that might sting, but you're arriving at that conversation with a level of self-love and understanding that makes that survivable.
Yeah.
As opposed to, because can I tell you a story? So I wasn't on, I didn't get even through the fourth and fifth step, right? But like all of my relapses are around relationships and guys.
Same.
Work. So
Period.
Period. So I'll just speed through it. So basically there was this guy, we had like, it was just very confusing and we had a falling out. I came back from a relapse and my first thought was, I know what I'm going to do to get him to love me. Mm-hmm. This is like my first week back after a relapse. I'm going to call him and make an amends. I had no idea what the fuck an amends was, but I was using 12-step to co-sign my bullshit. And then what happened is I called him and we were on the phone for maybe a minute. He was not having it. And so that's very different, right? Like and it fucked with me for months because I wasn't in a place where I could handle someone. Well, first off, it wasn't a real amends, right? I had hidden motives. But yeah, I wasn't ready to hear or get that kind of, not pushback, but someone who was like, okay.
I think to what you were saying, what I was thinking about is like, okay, so when I truly understand what the issue is, because I think if I don't understand, like what you were saying, Sage, like if I don't understand what the issue is, then I'm not ready. How could I possibly be ready to let it go? You know, it's like, it's one of the things where it's like, if I don't do the work, if I don't grow my life spiritually, then I go back to what I know. That's it, plain and simple. And so, I know. And so, getting to a place, and it may take some time, but getting to a place where I understand why this is not good for me, because just knowing that it's not good, like intellectually, I know something's not good for me. Like there's some things not good for me, you know, like going up to the park, you know, but I'll do it because I it's not high stakes.
Yeah. And I love what you're saying, because you're talking about what it isn't.
Yeah.
Right. What it isn't is, it's not, I no longer have these behaviors, right? It's not, I'm no longer angry or I'm no longer jealous. It's not any of those things. It's not, I'm going to hand everything over today. It's not that, right? But it is saying I'm willing to transform.
Absolutely.
Right? I'm willing to no longer fight the idea of growing.
And that's big.
Mm-hmm.
That's big,
mm-hmm.
because if you were as stubborn or as obstinate as some of us coming in, or maybe it wasn't stubborn, you just didn't know that this was something that needed to change. And so you were kind of you're shitting on yourself and sleeping in that shit, and you don't understand.
Why does it smell?
Yeah, why does it smell? It's like, get out of there. Oh, I love Jennifer Lewis. She says it's like, the problem with shit is like, you got to get out of there before it smells. I don't know. I'm gonna catch that reference anyway. She's just brilliant. She's just brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, and I like the point that you made too about, I don't know, I'm using this as an example. You know, like if you've ever gotten in a fight with an argument or a close friend and they just pop off on you and you're like, I'm sorry, and you have no idea what you're saying you're sorry about.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is, in a way, doing the 7th and 8th step without doing the 6th step.
Absolutely.
Like you're apologizing for something that you have no fucking clue why you're doing it.
And most of us do. It's like manipulation. Now, I'm a people pleaser. I don't want the conflict. And so I'm going to say sorry just because. And hopefully I'm doing that to someone who is wise enough to say, yeah, you're full of shit.
Right.
You know, sorry, you are sorry. My mom used to say, yeah, you're damn right, you're sorry.
Well, I think it's important too, because I mean, there's just, since being sober, there's also moments when I humbly am not sorry for things.
Absolutely.
And so I think having the capacity to look back and reflect on, what am I actually apologizing for? And then to be able to assess an entire situation from my actions as well as someone else's responses and say, I was totally in the wrong. I'm so sorry I put you through that. I'm so sorry I caused harm. And on the flip side, to say, I actually am going to have to let you go because I don't like the way you treated me.
Absolutely.
And after looking at my part, I won't say I'm a perfect human, but in this instance, like it was on you, right?
For both of you, have you had an experience where maybe you have made a sort of an amends, or you've had a conversation with somebody, but then a little more time has passed and you realize, oh, like you have a maybe an epiphany or thing, and then you're able to go and kind of continue that and to say, you know what, I may have presented, because I've had experiences like this where it's like, I understood to this point, but now I understand on a deeper level, and because I care about, and I always preface it, I care about this relationship, so I want to talk about this, because if you don't want to talk about this, it means no. But
yeah. Oh God. You're reminding me of 2 exes ago. Right.
Let me check my Rolodex.
Yeah, 2 exes ago. Just my being so angry with him and getting to a point where there was like a lot of empathy, right? Where like I got to a point where I'm like, oh, he was suffering too, because he ended up going out on meth like a week later. And I just remember like I was really angry with the way he treated me while we were together. And I think about like my part in that is like one of my patterns, speaking of patterns, is that sometimes I stay too long, right? Sometimes I allow myself to experience certain pain or to be treated in a certain way because maybe one of my old patterns is that I believe I deserve it, or that there isn't anything better than this. And so I did that for a really long time, and I blamed him for it. Right. When he was dealing with his own suffering and right. And so when I walked away from that, it took me a little bit of time to look back and think, oh, he was hurting, and like, who am I to kind of kick a man when he's down, even if, we're good friends now, but I'm going with that.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, kick him down, kick him, man, kick him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when I look back on my past relationships too, like, yeah, I caused pain and I was able to make amends from those. But even when we reestablished a relationship, and whether it was platonically or romantically, similar patterns still came up, and it was moments of being like, okay, I'm putting up with bullshit. Why is that? I don't want to be alone. Yeah. I don't think that I'm worthy of someone treating me well. And yes, the person that I was talking to, of course, was probably going through their own shit and experiencing their own type of trauma. But I was also subjecting myself to repeating certain patterns that I thought I worked through in the previous steps.
Yeah. You were, what you were talking about, there sometimes people become the physical manifestations of things that no longer serve us, and we have to let them go. It's like, see you later.
Yeah.
Like I have an individual who I was friendly with early in recovery, and I'm using the term friendly because I don't want to throw friend out. And one of the amends to myself was to let them to live their life where they are. Thank God we're not in the same city. They reach out every now and then, and I'm cordial, but it's a very Virgo thing. It's like, we reached a point. There is no going back. It's not necessary. I wish you well. I want the best for you, but the best for you has to be over there.
That's so interesting. I haven't heard you talk about being a Virgo in a long time.
Because I just am a Virgo. I'm a Virgo. It's like, no. Well, I've been on TikTok. I've been seeing all these clips of characteristics of Virgos, and it's been bright. It's been shining, and
it's really nice.
And it's all good.
One of the things that I've been working on recently is when I'm angry or wronged, or if I feel like I've been wronged and it makes me angry, I have a hard time doing the part. Okay, let's say, Sage, I'm really mad at you, right? And you did something and it hurt me. It is very hard for me to get past that in order to, because let's say you did a thing, I'll keep telling myself a story, or I won't allow myself I don't know if it's like the closure, but there's this, I just hold on to it, and I make it kind of like ice people out. Right. And to me, in my experience, when I get to a point where I'm like angry or so hurt, where I'm like, I never want to talk to that person again, I never want to see them again, there's something wrong with that. I don't have to do those things, but when it's so charged in my body, that shit, it fucks with my head. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a resentment because I'm playing it over. I'm playing the pain over again. I'm playing the thoughts over again. And in my experience, the only way that I've been able to get through that has been, well, not the only way, but one of the ways is
cut a bitch.
To not cut a bitch, but like there has to be movement on my part. And sometimes that movement is saying, you know, and maybe arriving at a place where like, yeah, we're human. We all do stupid shit. Like, this is just like the nature of what it means to be in relationship with other people. Yeah.
Well, no. It's like, and I was thinking, it's like, I agree with you, but also not falling into that trap where you think, am I making excuses for other people?
Right.
But really kind of just.
Right. And it's not, and that's what I should have said that it's not. Ooh, I'm taking a deep breath because I feel it in my body now, and it's not because it's not about them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. It's like it hurts me. You know, it gives me that tightness in my chest, and it fucks with my sleep, and it, you know, like I go over it over and over again in my head, and it's like I have to free myself of that, and that's an old behavior.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a pattern, and I think it was protective, right? It's like I had to hold on to that, so I didn't make myself susceptible to like more harm.
Yeah, I've been thinking because, and it started with my conversations I've had around the 9th step. We'll get to that. The steps there is very delicious kind of selfishness, you know, and it's
Step 6.
Selfishness. It's because it's like, it's really about like people. There are people who will reap the benefits as a result of just doing the work, but the work is for us. Like all of this is for me. And when I get to the place where it's like, I'm doing this regardless of how other people receive it, the benefit, the byproduct is going to be, I'm going to be less of an asshole, hopefully, or I'm going to be more reasonable, you know, but for the most part, it's for me. And I love that.
Yeah. So Jenny, closing thoughts? I feel like you're thinking over there.
I am thinking. I'm honestly reflecting on a lot of my past relationships.
We can have a whole episode on the two of these past relationships.
You and I can have our own episode.
Yes, we'll have one offline.
Yeah. And here, I know like right now we're coming close to time, but I've been dating this guy for a while, and I recently noticed that I've been feeling like an afterthought, and I finally said something, which is new behavior. I finally said something. I'm like, hey, like what's going on? I'm feeling like an afterthought. Like, you know, it feels like things have shifted between us, blah, 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 blah. And I broached the subject, and he was like, you're right. Like things have shifted. And so now we're supposed to have some conversation about it. And there's a part of me that's like, there's nothing to talk about, dude. Like your feelings change. We were just dating. Like that's what happens. You feel someone out, and sometimes it doesn't work, but there's a part of me that's like, I don't feel like having a fucking conversation. Like, what is there to talk about?
Yeah, it was like, let's talk about it now. It's like, well, let's have a conversation later. I was like, I'm all,
yeah. It was so in passing. But you know, but making sure we're rounding. Like, I want to round that off with step 6 here, which is, you know, part of. So when it comes to something like this, sometimes I have to go back to this idea of readiness, right?
Yeah,
which is, maybe I'm not ready now to have a conversation, or I'm not ready. And the conversation to me would holding on to grudges, right? Maybe I'm not ready now, but I am willing to be ready.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we continue doing the work so we can get ready.
That's right.
Yeah. So the Castro Country Club is a safe and sober community center for all people and a refuge for the LGBTQ recovery community. I am like,
it's okay. It's okay. You want to try it again?
No.
We provide programs and services that help change lives by supporting personal growth.
Our vision is to reduce the suffering of addiction by connecting people to community opportunity and support.
You can find more information, including all the ways to contact us, at www.castrocountryclub.org/podcast.
And check out new episodes every Monday.
We love you.
We love you.